Hi, very warm welcome. It's Gene from Avstar. Guys, some bad news. We have agitators deliberately misleading people with information in the comments section. Now, I'll give you for instance, we mentioned the cost of living in the United States and the cost of food right now. And before we get on to talk about Target and Walmart and what their CEOs have just told Donald Trump, I'm just going to say that these people in the comments section are saying that food is going down in the United States and the cost of living is getting cheaper. Can you believe that? My question is, why would they do that? Why would they deliberately mislead American people into believing that things are fine and things are getting better when the obvious is the opposite? Things are not getting better. The cost of living is getting more expensive, and thousands and millions of people across all age groups are being affected by this. Now, the CEO of Target and Walmart have given Donald Trump some very stark warnings, let's say that. What were they? You got 2 weeks to do something about this situation. Otherwise, are you ready for this? There will be empty shelves in the stores throughout the United States. Yeah. So, if you hadn't already gone out and got some provisions and stocked up on a few things, I would advise you not to leave it any later than what you have already. If you haven't got those provisions in, you need to go out there straight away and stock up on some at least staples. Because after 2 weeks' time, the only thing that's going to be on the shelves are things that are not essential. Car windscreen wiper blades, antifreeze for your window, that sort of stuff. It is shocking. And it's clear. If you look at the stock markets, it's clear what's caused this. Donald Trump's poor economics. Because every time he speaks, the markets fold. You're already down 8 trillion on the S&P 500, the top 500 companies in the United States. Look at Tesla stocks. And you wouldn't believe it. Tesla might have lost its footing in the market because BYD have produced a car at two-thirds the cost of a Tesla, and is I've got to say, it is a better car. It is a better electric vehicle, and yeah, it's being produced from the Far East and Asian countries. So his economics are terrible. And here's the thing as well. You might not be happy about hearing this, but let me just say this, because if you've got any grey matter, if you've got any common sense, you'll ask the question, what the hell? And this is I'm just going to repeat what I've written down. Donald Trump put tariffs on Canada and Mexico because they were allowing fentanyl to come through the borders, according to Donald Trump, even though Canada denied even less than 1% was coming through their borders. And even though it was a very low number, they still was prepared to do something about it because there's always room for improvement, as Trudeau said. He then put tariffs on China because China were manufacturing it. That was his reason for the tariffs. So tell me, why did he put tariffs on pretty much every country around the world, including Europe? Why? Were we involved in this trade and trafficking of fentanyl? No. Not at all. But he used it as a legal justification to introduce tariffs. But that's fine if, it is true that, fentanyl is coming through the border of Canada and it is coming through the border of Mexico and it is being manufactured in China. There may be a legal reason for that, but there isn't a legal reason for tariffing most of the world's countries. And that's a big mistake on his behalf. But I think the important thing to be taken from this video is the short notice that Target and Walmart have put on their stocks. They've said 2 weeks and the shops are empty. Let's see what happens in 2 weeks, shall we? Meanwhile, pay no attention to these agitators in the comment section who are making these lies and rumours up that America is doing great, because it clearly isn't. I could show you hundreds of videos. I could show you the 20 videos that I've watched in the last couple of days where people are sleeping in the cars, the homeless are increasing in numbers, people are defaulting on the loans and mortgages, they can't afford to pay the rent, and they can't afford to buy groceries to last them the month, let alone repay their credit cards, repay, other bills that they've got. They can't keep their heads above water. Donald Trump needs to do something before, people drowned in this economic situation. The reporters are describing this as a 1930s was the last time that they saw, inflation at these rates. Well, that's not far from the time period of the Great Depression and the economic collapse. And if they're saying that this mirrors those times, you should pay attention to that. If there is only 2 weeks in the major stores of stock, you need to take advantage of this time right now in securing some of those items for you, your family and your loved ones. And that's all there is to say in this video. Link down there if you want to help support us. It's entirely up to you, but I understand that, information with regards to the magnetic North Pole and its position is a luxury in this day and age. Most people are concerned about putting food on their table so that they and the families can survive. I understand it. It's not a problem. But I don't work for nothing. And that's something that you need to understand. I'm not going to work for nothing. I'm only going to support those that support me. And that's why, another thing in the comment section's been repeated often. How come there's not so much information on the magnetic North Pole? It's because it's my time. And if no one supports it, other than the patrons, well then, it shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone that those that support will be in, the knowledge of what's going on with the magnetic North Pole, and those that don't, unfortunately, that's life. You would not go to work for nothing. You wouldn't work for your manager for complete scot-free, and you should not expect anybody else to. Yes, it is YouTube, and there are plenty of free videos and platforms out there for you to go and watch. By all means, there is nothing holding you here. If you want information and you want other people to have information, then you need to put your little bit in. It's as simple as that. The only other thing for me to say is, you take care of your loved ones. I wouldn't hang about. If there is only 2 weeks left of stock in Walmart and Target, I would be there right now. As always, bye for now.